What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Brian.
Landon.
Boomzies issue 8.
Issue 8. We're 8 issues in. That's kind of exciting, really.
How's that better than 7?
I don't know.
Was 7 not good enough for you?
Why are you bringing me down? I'm saying I'm excited that we're at issue 8. I'm happy.
Okay. Hey,
already
one more.
It's already going downhill.
I'm already like, you're going down.
This is terrible.
You don't like 7s? What's wrong with 7?
Well, 8 it's like 2 circles.
Why do you got to do the humping motion?
It's like I'm trying to get it.
Every time we talk about something, you got to do a humping motion.
No, I don't. When have I done that?
Everything. What'd you have for dinner? Oh, I had a Big Mac. I'm like, that's inappropriate. That's wrong. You don't do that to people.
That's terrible.
So, for those who don't know what Boomzies is,
it's our never-ending struggle to agree upon something. is kind of where it's become.
And the audience's goal
is to bring us down.
To bring us down and to make us argue.
Yeah.
Like, we'll agree on something. The audience is like, no, you hate baby dolphins, Landon. And I'm like, what? You hate baby dolphins?
Clubbing some seals.
Piece of crap.
Yeah, but on a little bit more of a seriouser note than that, for people who haven't seen us before, we talk about very much all nerd culture.
Yes.
We kind of focus a lot on video games. It's kind of the bread and butter of this, but we have talked about film. We've talked about all types of different comic books, nerd culture essentially. So
a lot of video game stuff because that's what we're big about. But hey, we do everything.
Yeah.
Well, let's say Deceptor Creep. Baby dolphins are delicious. A little Cholula sauce on top of that. Grilled, actually, is how I prefer them.
Well, and Cookie Army Leader, remember, guys, Landon got a 3DS, and now the price has dropped. We've already covered this. I'm not upset over that whatsoever. I'm thrilled. I get 20 free games. I got it early. I've been playing it. I really enjoy it. Enough said.
Oh, gosh. Thank you, Cookie Army. You really bring joy into my life. These people make me happy. Without them, I would be nothing.
Clearly. So, I kind of know how your weekend has been, but you want to kind of talk about your weekend? What have you been doing?
I think we've had quite an interesting weekend, actually. Last week, for me at least, I picked myself up a little lovely Sunset Riders 4 players dedicated machine. Finally.
Pretty nice condition, too.
Yes. Side art's looking good. The cab is really good condition. I'm very happy with it. For a good price. There's a whole story about the trip. If you want to know about the trip, go to www.substance-tv.com. I've got a whole story. I wrote it with my hands.
Typing.
As I'm typing.
Yeah.
I hand wrote it, then I typed it. I dictated it to my secretary.
Yep.
But
I was there.
You were there with me and my secretary?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I saw it.
Where were you? Are you peeping in?
You don't want to know.
Awkward!
Yeah.
But, I got this great, beautiful Sunset Riders cab, 4 players. Got a new bezel for it, and now I'm just waiting for the glass. I ordered glass for this thing last Tuesday. They're like, oh, it's going to be here Friday. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Where'd you order it through?
Lewis Street Glass.
Okay. So what size did you have to get of it?
It's like a 27-inch by 23-inch. It's not really big.
Right.
But
because glass can be expensive.
Well, it wasn't too bad. It was actually cheaper than Plex.
Really?
Tempered glass.
Wow.
So I go to order it, and they say, oh, it'll be here Friday. Okay, great. And, thanks, Duff Manna, for the post. Yes, that's if you want to see that story about my trip. So, yesterday I called up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Why didn't you use Plexi? But apparently it's cheaper.
And more expensive.
So that's what I had recommended to him.
Old school tempered glass. So, but anyway, I call him up Friday. I'm like, hey, it's like 3:34. I'm like, have you guys gotten it in yet? Oh, let me check. And so they check, and they don't have it in. And I am too nice. I'm really too nice because I was like, oh, well, and it wasn't their fault. The person didn't ship it in.
I'm sad now.
And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll have to wait till Wednesday. Yeah.
See, I'm kind of a little bit opposite with situations. Like, I'll get into it later, but I've had a little scuffle with Best Buy today.
Yes.
So
you did have a little bit of some troubles there. But anyway, picked it up. It's great. And let's talk about, before we get into our thing we did today, that sounded dirty. The thing we did today, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whoa, those guys in the overshirts. I made a Boomzies commercial and it took 3 hours. By the way, peoples, children of the world, follow those guys in the overshirts. they pimp us out for free. We're on their channel. They make videos about us and commercials. We are their hoes. They are our pimps, and they pimp us out for free. We don't even have to pay the royalties. Most hoes, they gotta pay like the pimp royalties. Like, oh, here's half.
Right.
No, they're like, hey, you keep all your royalties.
We deal with that.
Yeah, we do get a little bit of beating, and you know, we have to compromise in ways that make us uncomfortable and whatever. But still, those guys are awesome. Follow them on Justin.tv here and on YouTube. Look up those guys and we're
making them feel dirty.
Make you feel dirty.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, baby. As bad as possible.
Then he'll clean you up.
Yes. Daddy clean you up. So anyway, you to tell us about what you've been doing.
Well, my little thing was, I'm sure everybody here's seen The Office and loves Dwight, the actor. Rainn Wilson is his name. He was in a film called Super. Which is a really, I don't know, it's kind of an indie film. It was shot very much low budget. It's fantastic though. It's called Super. It's got Ellen Page in it. It's got Kevin Bacon, Nathan Fillion in it, who plays kind of a Jesus superhero type weird, very, very weird thing. So it's extremely violent. It's very similar in a way to the movie Kick-Ass, in that it's like a regular person that kind of becomes a superhero.
It's violent, man.
But it's extremely violent.
And I haven't seen this whole movie.
Yeah.
He just let me see a little bit of this.
His weapon is a red pipe wrench. And if you can imagine how heavy a fucking pipe wrench is, if you get smacked in the face with a pipe wrench, that's
it's real.
You're
not
doing
Batman.
some damage. Yeah.
Like pow boom.
No.
They get it.
Yeah.
Like
you get smacked in the face, split open.
Well, let's show them a little trailer for those of you guys aren't familiar.
So here's a little taste of it. I recommend it.
Frank. I knew I was losing her.
Excuse me, have you seen my wife?
I don't think she wants to see you anymore.
What? Sarah!
Don't touch my car again. I'm going. That's not the kind of touching I meant.
Jock, he stole my wife. Can you arrest him?
Sometimes it's better just to accept these things.
Batman, batarang, pipe bombs, utility belt.
Utility belt.
Green Arrow has a bow and arrow.
Okay.
Why do you need all those?
I'm making up my own superhero. He needs a weapon. That'll do.
Cool.
All it takes to be a superhero is the choice to fight evil. Shut up, crime.
Don't steal! Don't deal drugs! Don't molest kids!
Brutal assault by the Crimson Bolt continued last night.
Are you him?
No.
That's cool. I could be your kid's sidekick. Ta-da! How do I look?
That's inappropriate.
Frank is the only thing that will save me.
We will take those suckers down.
That's good.
Let's do this. You just sit here and wait for crime to happen?
That's right.
This is so boring.
Yes, I could tell you now it's looking. You're not supposed to kill him!
I'm just learning. You have to teach me these things.
This is not about good and evil. This is about she loved me more because I am interesting.
Yeah.
Shut up, crime! Face the wrath of the Crimson Bolt!
Clearly brilliant. Clearly. Yeah. So, I'll say it also here, is he the only one who's super annoyed with that guy? You're annoyed
Decepticon Creep. I like Rainn Wilson.
I like him.
I haven't seen this movie. Yeah. But it is... You will go into this movie thinking, oh, you know, it's funny, it's comedy.
He's a psychopath.
He hits people in the head with a wrench, and their heads split open.
Yeah. It's extremely violent. It's very...
It's like Pulp Fiction meets Juno and The Office.
Yeah.
It's just, you'll be like, oh, Oh, that ow.
Yeah,
Ow.
and there's some really great bonus features in it. That's a really nice thing with this film too. It's got a lot of great behind the scenes. There's a nice in-depth sequence with the designers that actually made the title sequence for this, which is a really great title sequence. It's very cartoon-esque,
low budgety.
yeah, very very indie feeling. But they wanted to vibe off of some of the things that were within the film, how Frank the character draws, and it's really fantastic. I highly recommend it for anybody out there. It's great.
It's interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
I will admit that.
Yeah, you need to watch the rest of it. I didn't want to ruin all of it for you.
It was
but
good.
I had to give you a
I will
taste.
rent it probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll buy it, but I'll rent it and see what's going on. We'll
Yeah.
just watch it. Why should I rent it?
I'll
Why should I
let
spend
you
money when you buy
borrow it.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, pal.
Deal.
Handshake of just agreement.
Look at this.
Look at
Take
this
a photo.
piece that's coming through this hand. But the thing we did today
Right.
was we met up down in Hayesville, a very affluent,
Yeah.
high class area of Hayesville.
It's totally not hickish.
No,
whatsoever.
No, people. I think people make about $5,000 a year. I mean, really,
Yeah.
they're balling over there. But as much as we make, but we went garage sailing.
It
Right
was
in
the
Kansas.
it was the town's like citywide garage sale, so we kind of just scooted around and checked out some stuff. And he actually found some pretty decent stuff out there. I
did.
picked up a few things.
I did. Well, let's. It's show and tell time, boys and girls.
I think it is.
It's show and tell. Well, let me. I'll show a few things
Okay.
here. Soundtrack wise, I got Dance Dance Revolution, 5th mix. You know, just a group.
Fifth. Skipped 1
Group 2
through
in the
4.
car. No, 1 through 4 doesn't matter, but 5th.
If it was the eighth would have been.
Oh, it would have so been much better. Oh, now it just sucks.
yeah.
And then Cowboy Bebop, music for freelance. This is great remixes from Cowboy Bebop, the seatbelts, done by some of our other friends. Really great sound.
Only was a little longer. I think that's the only one.
Oh, it's not?
It's only got like 6 songs on it.
It's like $2.
Yeah, no, it's
One,
great
two,
for the
three,
price.
four, five,
It's
six,
just-
seven, eight songs.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, what were some of the things you got here?
Oh, some smaller items. I picked up a couple guides. Really, an older Link to the Past guide, old Prima. Definitely before they got to where they're at now.
Where's the pictures?
A little bit. Well, there's photos. They're completely all black and white and very blurry. But I love the back of it. It says, "The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is loaded with hot graphics."
I don't want anything loaded with hot
Hot
graphics,
graphics.
in my hands.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that was only $1 I paid for that. Again, sucker for strat guides. Don't need this, but wanted it. Final Fantasy Tactics strat guide, another $1.
Yeah.
Might as well. Some nice art in here, some nice pictures. You know, I'm sure it'll help me out through the game. I suck at tactics as is, but
Landon uses cheat books, says Cookie Army Leader.
I honestly
Cheater.
I honestly really don't. I just kind of hoard them. I just set them up there. I'm like, yeah, it's cool to have them. But
I know, I'm the same way.
yeah, it's
Well,
just kind of a sucker for
I
them.
got, this was one of my cooler finds. Ranma 1/2 Hard Battle for the Super Nintendo complete. Comes in the box, it's got the instruction manual and the cart. So I was like really pumped about that for like a couple bucks. So that was cool. And then going to the dance stuff again here, I've got Beatmania 7th style.
But that's
Beatmania
not-
2DX.
But that's not all, folks.
No, that's not all. Import, but I also got ta-da! A beat
Sorry.
No, I'm the Wicca Wicca. You don't do Wicca Wiccas. Don't you dare encroach upon my Wicca Wiccas. You can do that, just no wicks. But this is a Beatmania 2DX, which is different.
That's what he calls masturbation.
Beatmania. You know, hey, whatever you got to do to get your jollies, we're not here to judge you. But this was pretty cool. This is like $5, so I was very happy with that.
Yeah.
And and then I did get some Burst Angel. I got these for like
$5?
$5 for the whole. Of course, it's missing the first one,
Yeah.
but the whole thing for $5.
So you won't know how it starts.
No,
Well, it's on Netflix, though.
I'll watch the first part and
Instant
then
stream on
buy
Netflix.
it.
So.
And then what I'm interested in getting into
This.
Dance for like $5, which the complete series.
Right.
And I'm kind of looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kooky.
It's extremely weird. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. It's
and
really,
it's $5.
It's really bizarre.
$5.
And they certainly shrunk that packaging down.
Yeah, from your yours was like, here's my collection. Mine's like, here's mine.
Yeah.
In a nice package.
Yeah.
So cute.
Pretty much. So, the only really other thing I picked up was a little Chrono Crusade. I don't know really anything about it, but it was only $5, and I wanted to kind of check it out.
This is a friend, actually, a guy I know who's moving. His name's Peter. He's moving out of town, and he had a whole bunch of cool stuff. The other cool things, nerd time. I got the
Some really nice books.
movie script for the first Star Wars. Why? Because it was $1.
Yeah, might as well.
It was cool.
I mean, it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
That's another reason.
Before George Lucas raped my childhood, this came
You
out.
can't put CG in a book.
No. And then an art book. I've never heard of this guy, but Yasuki Kozaki, an art book. And he's got some pretty good stuff. He's done some pretty memorable stuff in here, but I like it. It's pretty cool. And the last bit, the coolest thing I like, is this odd command stick PS Custom. It's a Hori. It's a Japanese, actually from Japan. This guy had. It's programmable, and it was like $3-4. Like I spent like literally like $34 on everything here.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So I'll keep some of it, sell some of it. All in all, not too bad of a.
It was alright.
little find.
Yeah. You made out with a lot more than I did.
Yeah. You know. What can I say? When you're a baller, you're a baller.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently.
So I had a good time today. It was really fun. We gotta hang out. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good deal. Real good deal. I still need a fight stick for Street Fighter, says Cookie Army Leader. Well, I don't know. I want to keep this, but I'll probably give it up. I don't know. So anyway, of course, and we let you all know if you want to call about anything we're talking about, 316-778-0730. If you call us up tonight, within the next 15 minutes, we will double your order and upgrade it to priority shipping.
Yeah. Sounds good. I mean,
how can you deny doubling your order and upgrading to priority shipping?
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. Yeah. If you don't want to,
it sounds excellent.
You're nuts.
Would.
Then shall we get into our first topic of the night?
Yeah.
Besides us just BSing one another here.
What pray tell is our first topic?
Our first topic of the
Put
night.
on our monocles.
Our first tonight, we are talking about Metroid's 25th birthday.
There's been a lot of 25th birthdays.
It have been.
As of late.
Super Nintendo had its 20th. We've been having, a lot of big franchises, but here's my thing. Metroid has gotten zero love from Nintendo. What gives?
I don't know. I mean...
25 years, one of their biggest franchises.
Right. But here's something to take into consideration. There was a big game released for the Wii for the Mario's 25th anniversary, which rightfully so. I mean, it's Mario. You could argue definitely that Mario was larger.
Well, yeah, I mean that's their main.
Yeah, so
their main bread and butter.
Rightfully so, they did something for Mario, but obviously they didn't do anything for Metroid. Zelda. Did they do anything for Zelda? What are they doing?
They did a soundtrack.
A soundtrack?
A special downloadable soundtrack.
Right. Well, aren't they? They're going on tour. They're a concert tour.
Concert, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is great. And the soundtrack when you bought Ocarina of Time on 3DS.
Right.
But that was just a game, and they're putting out a soundtrack for it, So. But here with Metroid, we get Jack Diddley Squat.
But you can't do a 25th anniversary big deal for everything.
But it's Metroid.
Well,
Donkey Kong one of their biggest games
but
of
Donkey
all time.
Kong was in a situation where Donkey Kong was big, but Donkey Kong kind of.
Well, here's what I think.
I think Metroid Prime is probably getting into that situation.
Let's see what we got people saying here. Metroid Fusion for the GBA was my favorite. Says Devious Crypto. Darn right, that was a very, very good game. I actually like Zero Mission a little better because it's got that classic.
Hey, phone calls.
We're getting a call here. Let's answer it here. You've called the Super Duper Boomzies phone. Who are we talking to?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Are you here? Let's get this. Hold on. I can fix this right now. I'm fixing it. Hello, you there?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, wow.
Hello?
Who
We
is
got
this?
ya.
We got you. We got you.
You got me?
Who are we talking to?
It's Chatia.
Chatia! Oh, man. My partner in crime. This is just
Yep,
awesome.
Clearly.
The Demon Soul
I had to call in. I love
together.
Metroid.
Yeah, so what's the deal
I,
with no love
I've made it
for
a mission.
Metroid?
To play all the Metroids on my cast and beat them, so I had to call in once I saw you guys were talking about this.
Of course, man. So what's the deal with Nintendo not giving the proper love for the Metroid?
Honestly, I don't think they want to bring up Other M again.
Shh, that didn't happen.
Right.
No one
That
decided
shit
to
didn't
control.
happen.
No one decided to control a 3D game with a D-pad. Shh, that never happened.
I just...
But is that...
I think that they would have had to bring that up, and it was just like, we're just gonna forget that happened.
It's a little too
There's
hurtful.
nothing. It was way too hurtful, and I just what could they really do for it? I mean, I guess they could release like a soundtrack or something, but it's not like they're gonna release a game or anything like that. I would have loved to see like some sort of like giveaway, like a poster giveaway or guide giveaway or something like that.
Or like an online soundtrack, like they did with Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
download some remixes or orchestral versions. But to not do
exactly,
anything,
and
I think that's the bad.
well, and
I'm sorry, I'm talking
this
over
is
you.
where my knowledge is kind of low. But what exactly? Like, I wonder what the creator had to say about it too, because that would have a lot to do with it, right? So his name escapes me right now, but if he kind of didn't want to do anything for it, I could see them not wanting to do anything.
Well,
for
his decisions, from what I understand, were a lot of the reasons why Metroid Other M had issues. Like, he was the one who said, I want it to be controlled with just the D-pad and the one Wiimote. Because he wanted it to be just as simple as possible, and Team Ninja wanted to do both the nunchuck and the Wiimote.
Yep.
So maybe
and he was the one that
mad
did
at
the
him.
story as well, which was really my issue with Other M. I could have lived with everything else, but the story. Don't get me started.
I'm
we're
a
gonna be here all
broken
night
little
if you get me started
girl.
on that.
I have issues. I'm a beautiful woman with problems. God, what's wrong with me? Yeah.
Well, and honestly, that hurt me even deeper just because there is so few strong female characters, right? And for them to take one of my favorite characters, the few strong female characters, and just make her a crying ball of goo on the ground, you know?
That Ridley part was the worst. I was like, no, don't, no, why? God, why'd you have to do that?
Oh, sorry, Duff. I know. Okay, let's. We've already had this discussion on multiple channels.
You and Duff have had this
Get
discussion.
into
Hey,
it.
we haven't had this discussion, Chatia, so I don't care. We're part of the League of Demon Soul Haters. Who cares, man?
We are. We are brother and sister in arms.
Unite! Fight the Demon Soul's power! That's right, buddy. We're coming after you.
No.
You and your kind. Your
No
days are
need.
numbered.
Whatever. This is not a Demon Souls
Such a
argument.
creep. That was my point, though. It wasn't a focal point until they made it a focal point.
Right.
That was what was great about Samus's character, is that, I mean, there's still the shock, right, of when you played it on the Nintendo for the first time. It's like, oh my god, she's a girl, you know? And Nintendo went and took that and screwed with it and basically said, actually, Samus is a weak-willed, know-nothing woman, instead of
She's
just
a
being
vulnerable
very...
woman.
Sorry?
I said she's a vulnerable woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the classic
You know,
archetype,
and
you're like...
And that's what made her a great character. That, to me, that's what makes great female characters, is the fact that it doesn't matter that the female. Chell is another one that I bring up all the time as a great female character from
But you never played through with her. That's why the first Metroid, it was such a shock. Because you played through the game and you didn't think... I mean, you just assumed, oh, it's a guy, I guess. But the end of the game, into Super Metroid, it didn't affect the game. It was still just as amazing. It just was like, oh, it's just a fact. She has boobs. Okay.
Exactly. And then in Other then they went and they took it and they made her just a totally weak-willed puddle of goo.
Well, Chatia, thank you for calling up. This is your first time calling.
It is.
I'm so honored, and for those of you who are in the chat, follow Chatia. She is awesome. You will watch her cast, and people will make her laugh, and she will piss herself. That's just what she does. Her whole cast is laughing and peeing herself. That's it. That is all you will ever see on her channel. If that's what you're into, follow her, because it's awesome. And it doesn't matter that she's a girl. She's just a human being who pisses herself. And that's all that matters, Chatia. That's all that matters. Right, Landon?
Apparently.
Well, thank you
Thanks
for
a lot,
calling,
you two.
Chatia.
Talk to you later. Bye.
See ya. Look at that. The human compassion is felt throughout Boomzies. We're compassionate.
Well, you just went on about urine for a little bit, so clearly.
You know, it's a fact of life, bud. Get used to it. We
Okay.
pee.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah. Whatever. But I'm not... Look, Demon Souls is still really fun. I'm not saying anymore. I love Demon Souls. End it. So, but I don't know. For me, it's like, I don't think Metroid is honestly one of Nintendo's larger... Like, it's a big game, but it's not Mario, it's not Zelda.
I would say it's right up there with Zelda as far as my memories of it.
Yeah, your
And
memories.
I think most...
For memories, like the same thing with Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's nowhere near what he used to be. He's been dropped off. You're not going to see a 25th
He's a classic
anniversary.
character.
He is, but I think that's, for me, it's not... I don't think they're not doing a 25th anniversary solely because of Other Hand. I think they're doing it for other reasons, that it's not as large of a franchise as it used to be.
I just think it's not as successful, so why waste the time? Their
Right.
last game was a bust.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, GQ! Sweet! We have the great GQ here! All you peeps probably followed me because you follow GQ, so it doesn't matter, but follow him. Follow this man. He will have curse-a-thons and happy-a-thons and all sorts of stuff. Man is awesome. You need to follow that boy. Oh, we're getting another call. The Boomzies phone is ringing. We're in business. Hello, you've called the Super Duper Boomzies phone. Who are we talking to?
This is GQ.
Hey, GQ! We're like having an all-star lineup here, man. Chatia, GQ, Prince.
Told me to call in.
So what's up, man?
Not too much. What are you guys talking about tonight?
We're talking about the 25th anniversary of Metroid, and how Nintendo has done jack squat to commemorate this auspicious occasion.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, they focused so much on Zelda's anniversary this year that they kind of just let Metroid just fall to the wayside.
And that's what exactly.
But rightfully so. If they're going to devote time to something, they're going to devote it to Zelda.
Are you saying that's
because
okay?
I mean, Zelda's one of their bigger franchises. I mean, in reality, Metroid's done decent for them, but it hasn't put up the numbers in sales like
Exactly.
Mario has or Zelda has.
Right. So I think, I mean, they could have done something small, really inexpensive, but they didn't.
I mean,
don't think they
give
felt
us
the
a
need.
CD like you did for Zelda, at the very least. Like, give me like a CD that has a bunch of different awesome Metroid songs. Like, I saw some fan-made stuff for Metroid's 25th anniversary over on IGN. Not to promote another website, because I mean, I go to all sorts of ones, including the CD.
Of course.
But like over there, they had this guy who they knew that played violin, and they had him and some guy who played piano.
Yeah, violin
do this
piano.
awesome like remix. Yeah.
See, that's all I'm asking, because Nintendo's, Nintendo's all about, like, oh, we're all about the fans, and we're all about, the people who made us who we are, and then the people who love them love Metroid, so it only makes sense to throw some love their way, It's like we're in a marriage, Do I care about doing the dishes? No. But does my wife? I want to make her happy. I do the dishes. So Nintendo, do the dang dishes.
That's right.
That's right. Landon has nothing to say to that now.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on this over here, and
Well, GQ, thank you for calling, man.
Yeah.
I'm honored. The great GQ is in the house on the phone.
It's fun.
Well, guys, like I said, follow GQ, the man, the legend, the... What else, GQ, could I say about you?
I don't know. There isn't really much to say about me. I'm not all that great.
Prepare a script for me. Prepare a script for me next time so I can just, like, rattle it
next
off.
time I'll give you one that's like a 15-minute, like, phrase thing that you can just keep saying about me, like the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest video gamer ever, the man who thinks Demon Soul stinks and Mario is the best.
Another one on the Demon Souls Club.
Imperial soldier of all time. I don't know.
The trifecta's complete. Right now. It's me, Chatia, and GQ. The Triforce of Demon Souls hate is complete, and we will overtake you.
Chatia kind of went back on it, though. She reneged her thoughts on it and has said that, like, she doesn't think it's that bad. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You're entitled to your opinion.
She doesn't have to fully hate it.
Unless, like, I literally grind it offline for, like, hours on end. There's no way to... That's not a game you can really stream all that well. Like, Man does it, like, well because he's played it before, and I think he... Yeah, and he's Man, that's true. He can play any game good. It doesn't really matter. He picks up a game. Some people are just
like
blessed to be good at games like that.
I told Man, I said, I could watch you baste a baby otter with battery acid and kick it in the face, and it would be the most awesome thing ever, because it's Man. Like, atrocities are happening on screen, but Man just makes it all better.
Yep. True.
Alright, GQ. Well, you have yourself a good night.
Thanks, you too, Boomzies.
See you, bud.
Okay.
Right. I need somebody who likes Demon Souls out there to call, please.
You're not gonna get anybody.
Yes, I will. There's people on here that like it.
I don't see it.
They're not. Whatever. You're just.
I don't see.
Okay, we need to kind of move on.
Okay,
final
we'll
thought. Final statement. What do you? Final statement.
Nintendo, you suck. Honor Metroid as you should honor the Sabbath.
Okay, my statement will be a little bit more rational. A little bit. Like, okay, I understand why Nintendo didn't do it. Metroid is not one of their larger franchises anymore. It doesn't make as much money as these other ones. If they're going to vote time, they're going to vote time to other things. Granted, that being said, I think they could have done something very cheap, very inexpensive, and it would have been fine. But I'm not up in arms about it. I understand people who love it are, but that's just how I feel about it.
Okay. So. Whoa, Decepticon Demon Souls sucks like Bayonetta. Wow, he just slapped us both in the face. Whatever. Well, let's move on to our main
what's
event
next?
of the night.
What's next?
Which we're talking about the plague of video game sequelitis.
And we're paging who?
Dr. Mario, baby.
Yeah.
Paging Dr. Mario needs your help to get the viruses of sequelitis out of our video game systems.
By stacking.
By stacking pills. that is, like, I'm awesome at Tetris, but Dr. Mario's hard.
Yeah.
Were you
any good? We've got Wario's Woods playing in the background.
Oh, we do, yeah.
Off to the side. Were you any good at Wario's Woods?
That's pretty good. I mean, that's stacking. It's kind of like columns-ish, I guess.
Right.
I can do pretty decent at that.
Well, we've got a pro playing in the corner here.
A pro? Really? I'm in the presence of greatness. What? It's a guapo Boomzies. Does Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 count as a sequel? I wouldn't count it as a sequel. I would count it as a whoring out of a franchise.
That's part of... A lot of my statements throughout this conversation will be that sequels aren't bad. It's just bad sequels.
Well, what are we
this
what
would
are
be
our
a
point
case
about
where
sequels? What are we kind of talking about? Let's introduce people into this.
Okay, the thought is that with so many sequels being made, you can kind of look at this year and last year of like 90% of the titles that come out, they're all sequels to something. And is that really an issue for gaming? The industry as a whole? Is it that costs are up so high? What is the issue, and why is there so many sequels? And what is it really hurting the industry? Is it benefiting the industry? We're just gonna kind of talk about it, and we have no idea if we're gonna agree on this whatsoever.
Yeah,
that's kind of the beauty of this show. When we pick these topics, we just pick a topic that we know we can speak about, and we don't pick a topic that we know we're gonna be polarized and argue the hell out of. But
it's all your guys' fault.
Every single time
they put seeds of dissension. Cookie Army Leader, let's read this here. Okay, I'm going to start this off. I love sequels when they're actually sequels. I hate it when a game like Prey 2 comes out, which is going to have absolutely nothing to do with the first game. Same with Metal Gear Solid 3. It's a prelude. Why does it have the number 3 in it? Well, we're getting a call here on the Boomzies phone. Welcome to the super duper happy, terrific, awesome Boomzies phone. Who am I talking to?
You stunned them.
I stunned them so much. They're like, I can't believe it. Wait, hold on. I must. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Are you there now?
Hello?
Hello. Who are we talking to?
Hello. This is. Hello?
Hello?
We got you.
We got you.
Okay. We're good. Okay. This is those guys in the overshirts.
Hey!
Yo.
Our pimps.
Yay! First off, Demon Souls is a good game. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm losing you.
I've got one part of my Triforce.
We're going through a tunnel. We're losing you.
Nope. We're hearing
Second
you
one.
loud and clear. Just keep talking. Just
Bayonetta is also a good game as well, but it's probably better than Demon Souls. I don't know. Okay. But the whole thing I think about the sequels is, things like Call of Duty. I really think they really shouldn't be making a new one each time. I mean, they could seriously just make a DLC to updo their story, because it's really just the same game over and over again. But really, sequels what's an example here? I don't know, that's Mass Effect or I hope Skyrim. Just stuff that evolves the series and brings you something new. And
brings it to a new level.
Yeah. Yeah, brings you something new. It's fresh. But something that's you've played it a million times. I don't think they should keep on making a sequel.
Well, it's Madden. It's the Madden itis, I would say. And that's what happens with Call of Duty. It's new game, new paint, new guns, but yeah, you could just release it as DLC for $15 and be the same thing.
Yeah, I guess they're just trying to milk the series I don't know what to say about Assassin's Creed maybe, but I am looking forward to the sequel of Demon Souls, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
That's great.
Anyways, also after the show, if you want to check out the commercial I made, I'll send a link. So
shoot a link up there in the chat if you want to pimp yourself.
Yeah,
out.
after the show.
Yeah.
And the other guy with the overshirt, he wanted me to give a shout out. LD says hi. Alright.
LD says hi.
Yep.
Are you the born queen? Do you speak for everyone kind of thing? You're
well, he couldn't be here. Tonight.
Okay.
So,
I thought he was tied up in a corner, hey, shut the hell up. I'm on the phone. I do the talking. You're just the mom.
No, he couldn't be here. He's the guy.
Okay.
He's the guy with the top hat. If you see the commercial.
Oh
okay.
And he was in the background in the other video.
Yes, he was. All right. So see you later.
Hey, thanks. See you guys. We love you. See ya.
All right. See ya. Bye.
I have one supporter. I'm happy.
But he also does love Bayonetta.
I'm not arguing.
And he loves
against
Bayonetta
that.
more than Demon Souls, so it almost cancels it out. Really?
No. I'm taking.
That's how math works.
A positive and a positive.
Positive and a positive cancels out. Everybody knows that.
No.
Everybody knows that.
Okay.
Mathematical facts.
So here's the thing, though. Sequels. Are we getting phone calls?
We're getting another phone call. Look at this, man. All right. We're pissing people off. Welcome to the magical We Piss You Off phone line. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to Level 78. I have an answer why sequels are coming out. Have you looked at the movie industry recently?
Yeah. Good point.
Lack of ideas. That's what I'm feeling is because there goes. I'm sorry. 1 second. I have to think.
It's okay. Gather your thoughts. We'll entertain ourselves.
Okay. Well, who does not want to make money off of an already successful franchise? It's a money deal. If you COD 4, MW2, now MW3, they're basing it still off the same engine. First of all, they're saving money, enough money, well, actually a lot of money to keep it going, keep milking the product out, right?
Right.
And I've noticed, and me being a younger gamer, I've noticed a lot more sequels. Yes, because I know it's a successful game, I am more willing to buy it. That's why sequels are becoming more and more popular to do.
Do you think the economy has kind of had a little bit to do with that, with companies seeing the fact that we're going to risk this money. We'd rather just go with a guaranteed hit, make the money off of it, and then recoup our costs that way?
Yes, but surprisingly enough, the economy itself does have a lot to do with it, from developing new games to resurrecting old games. It's what new games are going to cost more than old games. I was at E3. I played the Battlefield 3 that was at E3, and I was a big Battlefield 2 player myself.
And that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Now, the innovations they're putting into that look like, I mean, this is what deserves a sequel.
There are some games that deserve a sequel. Yes, there's controversy that sequels need to be made. There's always going to be a cost put into it, but with the economy being as it is, with the economy being as bad as it is right now, in some people's minds, they're not willing to put the money into it.
Right.
I.e., I'm going to be calling out Call of Duty. That is what I think. And there also just might be a lack of creative motive within the industry right now. It might be a slow time per se, because nothing new and innovative has come out. I understand there's a lot of engines out there, but there's not the idea to put the engines into full use.
Right, and they just recycle the same old ideas and make some small changes.
And I'm going to point back to the movie industry again. It already has been done.
Exactly.
You see all these
and once it's already done, they're just going to keep redoing those successes. So, well, hey, man, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
No problem.
Have a good night, sir.
You too.
Okay, now I got a few things to say. Based on that, I don't want to get into an argument with our viewers necessarily, but look.
Oh, I do.
We're seeing a lot of hate for Call of Duty, but honestly, the Call of Duty games are good. There's a lot of good things about them. They sell extremely well, and a lot of the times there was a step forward in some of the titles each time. Now, granted, sometimes it's not as much, but there are changes. And that's the thing with sequels. The thing is, sequels aren't bad. They're not innately bad.
No,
the thing is, you have to make
no.
enough of a change in order to do that. And I don't think that the reason why you're seeing so many sequels is on the recession. That might have been an excuse 4 years ago, but we've seen this over a period of 4 years. I don't think that the recession is the largest thing to blame. I think it's the fact that, honestly, we're getting to a point where games are costing so much to develop that you have to make these games. You're taking these less risks that developers say. It's like, it costs so much money, I'm going to take a less risk and do this. It's not necessarily a good thing, but that's the reason.
You've called the super terrific Happy Fun Boomzies line. Who are we talking to?
I'm Steven Gamer 33.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
What do you got to say on this?
Personally, I don't know. I think Call of Duty games are good for the story and stuff. I think it's more the multiplayer. I feel like they should change up. The multiplayer feels like it's the same thing every year.
Just a new, they add some things, but the engine is very much the same.
Yeah, I agree. They could make a DLC, but if they're making money for it, of course they'll make them full games. I mean,
they wouldn't make as much money, would they now?
No, they wouldn't.
Exactly.
It's a money grabber.
It's all about the money, man. It's all about them dollar bills.
I mean,
I'll
probably rent an hour for free, maybe, and just play it through the campaign. Because I feel like that's one thing that maybe try the multiplayer too. I don't know. I have a feeling multiplayer is going to be like the other Call of Duties, pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of have that feeling myself, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling up, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Man, the phones are blowing up.
Yeah, clearly.
Soggy was saying, blowing up, baby.
Yeah. Well, see, and I've got a little statement here, kind of what Nintendo has said once. Here's a quote. It says, for Nintendo's part, they say it doesn't matter if a game is familiar or not, so as long as it's a unique experience. When it comes to popular franchises like Pokemon or Legend of Zelda, That means continually evolving those experiences to give longtime fans and newcomers alike fresh surprises. So, I mean, that's
possibly true. Well, you've called the super busy on fire Boomzies phone. Who are we talking to?
Yo, it's Decepticreep.
Decepticreep! That's right, the Calvary's come in, baby. You're going down.
Yeah.
What do you gotta say?
Hey, how you guys feel about spiritual sequels like, what was that game, God damn, I can't think of the name of it, the River City Ransom, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay. A game that was loosely based off of, like, River City Ransom, and then Scott Pilgrim comes out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we're ever going to see a new River City Ransom, but it's cool to see developers make games like Scott Pilgrim and in homage of older games like that.
See, I like that. To me, that shows, like, yeah, you're inspired from this game, and yeah, you kind of have some ideas that have been plucked from it, but it shows a love and devotion for an old game with some new stuff.
That's kind of how I felt about Ninja 5.0 as well.
Oh, Ninja 5.0. Dude, that is one of the greatest Game Boy Advance games out there. It's like
Definitely,
Ninja Gaiden and Bionic Commando got it on and had a baby.
Yeah. I kind of wish they would make more games like that. Something that has, more of a, not a direct sequel, but definitely games that pull from older games. And, I'm getting tired of seeing the same old Mario Galaxies and the same old, Zelda.
Right.
Zelda Twilight Princess and Zelda 64, they were all pretty much the same game, and it just gets boring.
But the Zeldas have changed. Like, the past couple Zeldas that have all come out, they're drastically different.
I mean, they're different, but again,
they're unique.
This is an issue.
They're very unique experiences.
I'll bring up
Skyward
this
Sword is
issue
gonna be
later.
that case too.
I'll bring up this issue later. We'll get to that, but yeah, I agree. You want to bring little bits and pieces into your own little knitted up special tapestry of gaming goodness.
Mm-hmm. Well, then there's like sequels, in my opinion, like Contra 4, which basically took what made Contra awesome and then just made an awesome game. It didn't like pussy out and make something weak. It made that game hardcore, and if you didn't like that game, you didn't like the original Contra.
And Way Forward put so much love into that game. I mean, they took what made Contra great and put some love into it and just made this awesome experience.
Absolutely. But the guy goes, "Go get some." And that's pretty awesome.
Go get
That'd be a
some.
ramble.
Exactly. Well, sir, thank you for calling in.
All right, guys, take care.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
And see, that is why I'll bring up an issue with Nintendo. Nintendo makes sequel after sequel after sequel, and they're all good. They're all good. But Nintendo has failed to create new IPs, in my opinion. They have made all these great new sequels, but I think the last great new Nintendo IP was Pikmin.
But look, you've got I'm going to step back again. Like, familiarity isn't a bad thing. You're growing up with these franchises. You love these characters, these games. You want to see them continue. And you have to have sequels for that reason.
Sure,
and
no problem.
The important thing is that if you are able to, at each sequel, perfect, really polish, really work on those things, even if you're at the 3rd or say the 14th version of it, as long as you're polishing and you're adding new things, there's no problem with it. Now, granted, Nintendo could afford to make some new IP.
Yes.
But they're not doing a bad thing with their sequels.
No, they're doing a good job.
They're not in a bad position. You've got these other situations like with Red Octane, where you're rehashing the same shit constantly. The Guitar Heroes haven't really changed.
No, I mean,
So that's where you're looking at bad sequels.
I'm not saying Nintendo's bad for the sequels, but my thing is this. At one time, those sequels were originally one game. Mario was Mario. Oh, we got another call here. Hello, we're going crazy. It's the Bonanza. Who are we talking to?
It's John the Dominator.
Hey, what's going on, bud?
Not so much. I got two things. First things is sequels. Crap, what was I gonna say? One of the things about sequels is I'm sort of agreeing with like how they're trying to polish up new things, but I think also is the main thing is the fans sometimes usually want to see like bits and pieces of the same old story, same old graphics. Well, maybe not necessarily graphics, but gameplay as well. That's like what it doesn't also. It does give companies more money, but then most likely the fans usually enjoy it because most sequels are out.
So you're saying you kind of have to balance familiarity with newness. You got to have enough there that the old fans like it, but enough innovation that's not the same exact game they played.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Nintendo has done that. I think Nintendo has done a good job of that.
Yeah. There's a lot of companies that have done that.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, not just Nintendo.
I agree. I agree with you there. I think, Landon, you agree with that? Mm-hmm. Hey, we're agreeing here right now. Look at that. Thanks. You brought us together, man.
No problem, man. And now, my second thing.
Sure.
This is really important. Crap.
I thought this was
so
going to be
important you forgot.
I knew this was important.
It's your confessing your love for Demon Souls.
No, confessing my hatred. Actually, that's what it was. Sorry.
Not cool.
Yeah.
So what did you have to say?
Actually, that was it.
Okay, sweet. Yes. Number 4. Welcome to the crew. You are in good hands, buddy.
No.
Thank you for joining.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
All right, buds. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Number 4 to 2. Yeah. Doubling up. But here's my only point. At one time, Nintendo had to have Mario, Zelda, Metroid. All those were a singular game that were so popular and good, they demanded a franchise. That's what I want them to do. Develop a new creative IP that, along with the sequels that we all love and know, come out with something brand new that we can experience.
That takes a lot of...
It does, but Nintendo did it. Nintendo did it for years, and I think Nintendo's gotten lazy. They're resting on their laurels that they can say, hey, we can put out this great sequel and not have to innovate with a brand new title.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and argue that Nintendo's not lazy, because clearly with a lot of what the Wii has happened with, that is a little lazy, but I think that's more on the part of third-party developers, because a lot of Nintendo's, what they've put out has still been good, so I'm not going to sit here and say they've been lazy or they haven't been lazy. Their continuing franchises are still fantastic, minus apparently Metroid Other M, which I guess we're ignoring as a game in whole. But I think there's more companies that are more lazy. Like here, we've got Capcom's lazy. That's a situation where I will say that is lazy.
Yes.
You're cashing in on these games, which I think these changes are more for either downloadable content or just updates. What they're instead recharging for at a full price.
We got another call here. Let's take this here. Welcome to Boomzies. Who are we talking to?
This is more like Shaman, and I personally, the one series that I really, really wish was
had a sequel.
Hold on a second. For me, the Fire Emblem series, I wish they... The one thing is, I'm waiting for them to officially announce the next, technically, remake for that. But I find that a lot of the good sequels that come out of Nintendo are actually Nintendo along with third-party developers.
Right, and it's not just them by themselves. Does that bother you?
Not really.
As long as they put out a good game, it's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope, that's about it.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling, dude. See ya. Well, let's go back and on to Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I'll say, by the way, if you want to know my feelings on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, just watch Angry Joe's video on Blistered Thumbs. Dude covers it perfectly. I mean, everything I feel about how much BS that is, I think they're releasing that, and that should be downloadable content. And that's, I think, the whole issue we're coming with. We have no problem with sequels as long as they demand the price tag of $60. Now, if you put out a sequel that's crap, and it's stuff that either could be put as DLC, man, release it as $15 DLC. I don't want to see this BS about you releasing it as some great $60 title when it's not worth that.
No. Those are situations where they could be handled in a different way. I mean, those updates need to happen. Probably, you need to do the rebalancing that they're putting out, and you need to add the new characters and everything. But that's not a situation where it needs a full new retail launch.
Right.
It needs to be a situation like with Mortal Kombat. You're getting all these new characters and these updates, but you're able to just go on and buy the characters individually or as a pack, get all these updates in a different manner than a constant repackaging. We're on our third Super Street Fighter.
That's it. The Deceptive Creep Super Street Fighter 4 should have been a download. I mean, it was for those who had the game already, but the arcade edition should have been too. But I think with these sequels, some of these sequelitis, as we'll call them, that pillage the franchise, I think it's going to hurt the game in the long run. Because then consumer trust is going to go down.
Right, yeah.
People are going to say, well, should I buy this for $60? I'll just rent it or buy it used. Why not?
Well, it's kind of that early adoption thing, in a sense. It's similar to iPhones and different things. You're going to buy it day of. You're going to buy it either for a reason that you really want to play it, or you can be one of those skeptical people like, well, they're probably going to release another one here after a while. And it's sad that that's starting to happen with games. So,
well, is there a sequel that you were disappointed in? Particularly, is there one sequel that you loved the series that came out with it and you said, oh wow, you guys really just screwed the pooch on that one?
I'll have to think. There's nothing like so awfully that it's just burned in my mind. I'll have to think on that for a second.
I just had to say the Guitar Heroes.
Well, see, for me though, I didn't fall in love with the Guitar Heroes when they came out. So,
oh man,
I can understand that. Yeah, it's been rehashed, but I wasn't so in love with it that I was like, oh fuck, dude.
I was one of those people. Yeah, when the Guitar Hero was like banned here, I was like, what are you doing? Of course, by that time I'm on the Rock Band, but it was like, you destroyed a perfectly good gaming series and just poured it out. Oh, another sequel. Oh, another sequel. Oh, another sequel.
Well, that's where you go back to sequels aren't a bad thing.
Ooh,
bad sequels are.
Optimus, yes. Breath of Fire 5. After playing 4, which was absolutely amazing, 5 was like a step back, way back. Like it didn't even feel like it belonged in the Breath of Fire series.
Well, how does everybody feel about? I know there is some issue with Metal Gear Solid 2.
Are we going to be hating on Metal Gear Solid 2?
No, I love it. Yeah, no, it's still a great one, but it's people are up in arms because it was like, you sold me on Solid Snake, and I got to play as.
But he played. See, Raiden. This is like that's what I.
But Raiden wasn't as cool in Metal Gear Solid 2 as he is now.
He played the same as Snake.
No, certainly.
And you got to team up with Snake.
Right.
And the idea, and what I've kind of had a lot of debate about this, is that Kojima specifically made Snake that way, and specifically made Raiden that way, because he wanted to put you in a position of weakness. I mean, here you were in the first game, you were the man, you were powerful, you were awesome, and Raiden comes in as this, greenhorn, doesn't know what he's doing, so you're put into a different position of weakness rather than a power. And what they do is they kind of tease you, make you think in the Tanker chapter you're going to be him.
Certainly.
And then they mess with you. And that's why I like Kojima.
No, it was great. I loved it. But
both with 2 and 3, and even 4, he does not do what everybody tells him to do. He just says, screw conventions, I'm going to make this totally new awesome game.
But for me, on the flip side of the coin, for me, like one of the best sequels for me was Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yes.
That is by and large
the best Metal Gear game, I would say.
Insanely so good. I can't tell you how many times I've played that game. So for me, that's probably my favorite sequel.
And see, that's a case, I think, where
Final Fantasy 8 too.
Oh, Final Fantasy! Final Fantasy 8. I just say it. I get sponsored. I get 15 cents every time I say it. Yeah. No, but Metal Gear Solid 3 was one of those cases where Kojima took the classic cover
prelude.
system.
Come on, we're
well, yeah,
whatever.
But it is still a sequel.
It's a third.
Sequential in the numbering, just a prequel. But that's the one thing I did like about it. He took the whole idea of the cover system from 2, threw it out the door, and brought in a camouflage system, which I thought, see, that's an idea of a sequel that takes a risk.
Yeah.
Instead of, they could have just made Metal Gear Solid 2.5, base it all, but he said, no, I'm going to completely redo the engine, and what I thought was build an even better engine with a camouflage system. And an amazing story. So
we've got a very interesting question here. What about the HD versions of Shadow of the Colossus? Will sell or will it flop? That's before we talk about will it sell, will it flop? That's another issue where we're kind of looking at is this a good sequel? Is this not a good sequel? I personally like the fact that I can play these games in HD. They're not coming out. I don't think they're going to be at 60.
Now they're sequels. They're remakes.
Well, right. That's
remakes.
But yeah, I mean it's kind of along the same thing here.
Right.
What we're talking about.
I personally, I know people are going to shoot me. I didn't care for Shadow of the Colossus.
Wow.
Did not care for
Wow.
it. Here's what I'll say.
I love that game.
Let me
What about
speak,
Ico?
Let me speak. Let me tell you here. Let me tell you this. Okay. I didn't care for it on the PS2, but I'm looking forward to the HD remake because I think the developers tried to do something that the PS2 simply couldn't handle. The draw distance, the slowdown, the drag, the frame rate drops, everything that was supposed to bring me into the game actually dropped. Once you got into one of those bosses and it just goes, and then you always had to hold your sword up to go get, it's like, it pulled me out of the experience. The music was great. I thought the audio was great, and I'm hoping the HD one gets rid of those problems so we can look past these technical glitches and just enjoy a game.
Oh, well, I thoroughly enjoyed it as is, but...
And that's what I'm saying. If they can do that, pimp it out, make it the game it should have been, then I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
What's your favorite sequel then? What's
one of
the
them
best situation?
one of my most surprising sequels would be Shinobi on the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
The very first Shinobi. I bought that on a whim at Best Buy, developed by Overworks, Sega. Absolutely amazing game. One of my favorite PS2 favorite games of all time. They just took the idea of Shinobi and put it in 3D, 60 frames a second, super fast, great graphics. Gameplay was amazing. This whole tate thing where you got to chop up a bunch of people, and then the sixth guy you chop up, and then it would do one of those classic ching ching ching. And he goes, "What's it?" And everyone would go, and all slice open. Great gameplay. That was not only the most surprising, but probably one of my favorite sequels.
I think another extremely well done sequel. Hopefully they can do it again with a third. Is Mass Effect 2. Such a huge leap from the first one.
I'll agree there.
Everything was improved. Everything.
Now, do you think that could hurt, kind of going with sequels? Just as a bad sequel can hurt a franchise, can a good sequel end up hurting a franchise in the fact that it will just never live up to fans' expectations? You know what I mean? Are you just stuck between a rock and a hard place, and no matter what game you put out, there are still people that are going to go, "Oh, it wasn't good enough"?
Well, no, I don't think so. Just because I think for me, the way sequels should be approached, at least now, other than certain things, how Nintendo handles sequels is a little bit different. So this doesn't really apply for that. But when you create your franchise in a way that Mass Effect was created, it was created in the thoughts of a trilogy. So you've got a definite end and a definite beginning. It's not like an anime where you've got all these filler episodes. You've got a structure. It's being built to this situation, and that's what makes it amazing. How you go from 1 to 2 to 3, because you know ahead of time how you're going to do.
And that's what I think is great. It's like all the variables they had to handle from 2 to 1. Just having to make sure that it all worked together. You know, that everything you did from 1 went. Now they have the variables from 1 and 2 into 3, so it's like triple fold. You know, you got all this. So I'm interested to see what they do. Master VG, I feel that way with GTA 4. It didn't live up to my expectations after San Andreas. And that's what I heard a lot of people say that 4 was good. Oh, we got a call coming on the Boomzies phone. Welcome to the Boomzies phone. Who we talking to?
What's going on, guys? It's Soggy putting on. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Soggy. Hey. You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better this week. Thanks for asking.
Good to hear, man. What do you got to say?
So, I just wanted to drop in. I kind of want to use a little bit of an analogy. I think a good sequel should be like seasons to a TV show. You got your TV shows where you get your first season and they really grasp you into the characters, and then in season 2, 3, and so on, they really flesh out the characters and you start to connect yourself with the characters. The problem nowadays with games like Call of Duty and such is you're seeing the exact same game every single step. And yeah, it sounds like it's got the Lost syndrome. Yeah, everybody kept watching Lost because, ooh, the first season's great. Let's keep watching to see what happens. But in the end, when it's the exact same thing, you never know what's going on.
I could never watch that. I was always lost.
What was that?
I said every time I watched Lost, I'd watch it and I'd flip it on and go, what happened? What happened? I don't even know what happened.
They did
exactly.
They made
so I think what's happening nowadays is like you guys were saying, there's a sheer lack of new, fresh ideas, but they're also not developing stories and characters too, which I think is killing the whole sequel thing. But one game I think that is almost immune to it is Mega Man. Everybody still loves Mega Man, and there have been sequel after sequel of Mega Man. But I think the way it gets away with it is there's always a different set of characters to fight, and there's always a different way to go about it. So there is still something new, even though it's the same game. And I think that's where we're running into the problem.
People like Sonic, people just attached to that character.
Well, the thing is, there's a big difference between Sonic and with Mega Man. Mega Man was able to adapt into the changes of how the consoles went from a 2D to a 3D, where Sonic really never did.
No, he didn't adapt, but the funny thing is, people still love Sonic.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's the reason
I
why
think,
their
like you
sequels are
said,
terrible.
it's a character that people have gotten to know, and no matter what happens, you built that fan base where people just, they've got to go get it. They've got to know what happens to them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, just having characters that you're endeared to. Part of the reason why Chiquita is so mad at Other M, because she really grasped onto that character, and then when they kind of just threw it out the window, it makes her rage a little bit.
Yeah, I was sad that happened here, because I was looking forward to a great show, and it nosedived. So, well, thank you, sir, for calling, man. I'm glad to see you're feeling better.
Thanks for letting me go again. All right, thanks. You have a good night.
Good one. And I do agree with him there. Yeah, we need to bring in now, with all the innovations, a story and characters that people care about, or at least good gameplay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, well, hold on, because we've had
I'm the gameplay guy, but I think that's why Mega Man does do partially well, because it's the same gameplay, but people love that, and they like we talked about, that's the comfortability and familiarity that people want. But I do think that's what's great, even though I don't think a lot of big companies are working on sequels. I think we do have innovation from indie companies who are able to make great games.
That's the reason. That's the only real place that you get true, really innovative, because it's cheap to do. You know, it's less costly because you don't have to manufacture, put out all these discs and go full on retail. And that's the reason why you see less innovation in larger retails, because it's a higher cost to make to develop these games, so you have to take less risk in order to make up for the higher cost, where with indie developers it doesn't cost as much, so you get to take a lot more of that risk. And less on the download too. It's even on the handhelds. I remember when Scribblenauts came out, there was a lot of those developers were making a lot of statements like it's a lot cheaper to manufacture on a DS or build a game for a DS, so they were able to take a lot more risk. They were able to self-fund it themselves and be able to do something fun and really innovative, and I think it worked out in the case of Scribblenauts a couple years ago.
Exactly, Chitia. Sometimes I want the same game again, and that's why I think we just need a little bit of everything. You know, give us the new, give us the sequels, but give us sequels worth our money, because if you don't, then we lose faith. We lose faith in what you have to give to us. Well, I think we've really covered everything. Is there any last leaving thoughts you want to leave the viewers with?
No, I think I kind of said it. It was like, overall, here's the thing: like, sequels are not a bad thing. I've said it again. I've said it before. Sequels aren't a bad thing. It's just bad sequels where there's less innovation. Exactly. That's where you draw the issue. We could use some more innovation, but don't hate on sequels just based on the fact that they're sequels. If you see innovation in the sequels, heck yeah.
If you see a sequel, give it a hug. Go to your local game store and give a sequel a hug. All right,
kind of. No,
that's not what you're saying.
Not really.
I thought that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your final?
My
do you agree with my statement there, or are you polarized against it?
I agree with your statement, but I think, as we had another caller say, like the movie industry, they're less likely to take risks. As games become more expensive to develop, developers will not take risks. We'll get sequel after sequel. And it's like anything, you vote with your buying dollar. Like with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's a BS sequel to me. I'm not purchasing it. I will not be purchasing it. If I do play it, I'll buy it used. So if you see a sequel you don't like, hey, fine. Do it and don't buy the game.
But the flip side of that coin is, if you've got a situation like Mass Effect where you have created that sequel, it has made a lot of money. Now they've got enough money where they can take a little bit of risk and add a little bit of innovation into it, and they probably will.
But that's where I think game developers, because it used to be game developers just made a game and made a good game. They stopped worrying about sales figures. Just make an amazing game.
This was a great sequel.
This movie was a great sequel. It was a great success. Thanks, Duff Mana. By the way, Duff Mana is so awesome. Like, he's mobbing this whole thing by himself. He's keeping you all corralled. He's herding y'all with the prod. We love you, Duff Mana. You're such an awesome mana. But follow him. I don't know if he even does anything. Just follow him because you can. Just be like, oh, what are you doing today? Following Duff Mana? Exactly. Well,
yeah. Rather have. We're not going to talk about KOTOR because I know you hate KOTOR. I like KOTOR. Whole nother topic. But
well, then let's talk to him about next week.
Yeah, what's going on?
If you loved this, we'll talk to you a little about
sequel.
Another sequel.
It's issue 9.
Boomzies 9, the 9th sequel to Boomzies, with the same 2 guys who argue about the same crap all the time,
wearing very similar clothing every week,
the same hat every week. We are kind of hypocrites.
Yeah.
We're like, we hate sequels of the same thing, yet that's all we do. We just whine and moan every time. But everyone's like, we love it. More whining and moaning, please.
We're still. There's a lot of times where we're positive about things.
Okay, I guess.
I don't know. I think we're not just constantly here just saying everything about gaming sucks. It's awful. And
no, we just hate each other sometimes. Like I think people think we hate each other. I think they do. Like after the show.
Well,
we've
revamped our photo where we're pseudo choking.
Yeah, we're pseudo. Yeah, we're giving in to that. Oh, there we go. Master BG. Boomzies is an awesome sequel that doesn't need to change. Thank you, man. God, I feel so good about myself. I was gonna slip my wrist tonight, but no way. These wrists are staying clean.
Demon Souls strikes back. All right, what's next week?
Well, next week we're going to be talking about the day the music genre died. What happened to the once great juggernaut of video game genres? Kind of touched a little bit with Guitar Hero and what has gone on with what just, I would say 5 years ago, was one of the most popular gaming genres existing. I mean, it was just a cash cow.
It was a big party thing.
Great thing. And now, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any, but it's like, hey, the new music games come out. It's like, oh, there's DLC. You bet your hardcore fans, but
there's innovation. I mean, we'll get into it.
We'll get into
Harmonix is doing some stuff with Dance Central.
That's true. That's true. Of course, if you guys here on Justin TV, follow us. If you want to catch up with Boomzies, just click that follow button. Just do it. Come on. It's okay. It won't hurt you. Follow us. We're here every Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And send us in comments on improvements, anything, suggestions on the show, whatever you guys.
We'll take your emails. And we have the phone set up here. You can call up 316-778-0730 and leave us a message. If you're too timid, if you're too nervous, you just don't have the courage to call up somebody like this who loves Demon Souls. I mean, I understand. It makes you sick. You can leave us a message here, and we'll play it on the show whenever we feel like it.
Yep. Feel free to give us suggestions on topics, too. If there's something you really want us to speak about, we'll hopefully get it in.
Send it by either the phone here or shoot us a message on the comments, because I've had people sometimes tell me something like, you should do it on that. I'm like, okay, butterfly. And I totally forget. So just message, type, anywhere here. So, yeah, like I said, next week, the day the music genre died.
What? They're wanting to get rid of me. Why does nobody like me?
Really get rid of Landon.
Nobody likes me. Come on. I'm a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. He's just, we're here to fix you. This secretly Boomzies is an intervention for you.
You cry in my pillow.
Tears on my pillow. Yeah, we're here to intervene for the bad things, for the bad choices you make, because we want you to be better. Landon, we care about you.
All of my living in sin with TMNT and Demon Souls.
Yeah, it's going to be like that 80 intervention.
Yeah.
I still love you. And then going to be that guy who goes,
I'm getting a fan club now.
You get a fan club?
Yeah.
Okay, we shall battle once. Well, thanks to everybody. This was really fun. I appreciate you guys joining us. Join us next week, like I said, 11 p.m. Any last words, sir?
No.
No.
Make my fan club.
I'm so tired of this. I'm just going to go home and cry. Well, you are home.
I am home.
So it's kind of hard to cry when you're already home. So. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, Thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next week for another Boomzies. See ya.
Demon Souls.
Just had to do it.